Rethought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. Rethought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello, and welcome to Rockin the Love. I am Robyn Olmstead.
And I am Gil William Olmstead, and we are your host for this lovely show. We have so much fun each week talking about relationship and basically about everything, since it all comes down to relationship with whatever it is, with ourselves, with one another. So it's good to be here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I haven't seen you in a couple hours.
It's so true. So for those of you watching, we are in different locations. However, we are still in the same city, which is always a good thing. And we just happen to be in two different locations today. We are a married couple, and we have been married for a really long time now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It's scary.
It is, right? Well, what's scary?
I think it's just scary how old we must be in order to have been married that long. That's all.
That doesn't scare me. I think the scariest thing to me is just that I've done anything consistently for 22 years. Like really been committed to one thing. That's a long time.
It is.
But well worth it. So I say, if you can commit, do it. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So your week, how was it?
My week, it's been really good, actually. Really interesting, really fun. Lots going on. I'm trying to even figure out where we are in the weeks. Was last Thursday Thanksgiving?
Yes.
It was, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Okay. So yes, had a great time. Got to have a meal with a lot of people at our community, and been working on some different things. I got my bikes out, been riding my bike. I hit the road at 38 degrees this morning, realizing that my little cap was in my toolkit on my other bike, but hey, we're figuring it out. But it's been good.
Good.
How's yours?
It's good. It's warm today. It's so warm that I have the front door open, letting because the sun shines on that side of the house. The week's been good. It's been interesting. I think that it's always an interesting week going into the holidays. There's something about that Thanksgiving send off. It's everything gets revved up, and then we move into the holidays, and there's this expectation, and there's these things you should be doing and things you haven't done and things are you gonna do, and all of that. So all of that's been roaming around in my head. Our godson came back from his trip to California, and yes, and he's here and back. So, in some ways things feel a little back to normal, and then I begin to wonder how normal really is. Because
right.
There's Gil and I talked about when he was gone, how we missed him, and we didn't on one level. I mean, not in a bad way, just it was nice to be alone. So it's interesting to have him back, and and just be back in that mode, and not knowing if he's going to stay after the first of the year for another semester of school or what he's going to do. So everything seems in flux. But it's been a good week. I mean, all that said, it's been a good week.
So our producer is jonesing for a bonus here. It's now Producer Wednesday. We followed up Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday with Producer Wednesday. So, what I wanted to say was we had such a fun time the other night. We just went for a drive around in the neighborhood. Really, we didn't go very far from our house. We just, we look down the street and see a house with some kind of lights or decorations. Oh, let's go that way.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
We were driving home from doing an errand, and I said, "Let's not go home. Let's drive." And he was like, "Okay." And we drove, and we looked at decorations everywhere. Man, people are like on it with their decorations this year. I was saying to Gil before Thanksgiving, Christmas decorations were always already up. So tell us our favorite one.
Yeah, our favorite one was, people have the blow up type decorations, different figures, the Snoopies and all those kinds of things. Well,
and for Thanksgiving,
we came up to this house and it had two big turkeys standing there on the lawn, and then there was a Santa Claus blown up laying down in front of them, and they had a sign that said, "Wait your turn, fat boy."
Oh, it was very
and
festive.
It made us laugh because it was Saturday after Thanksgiving, and how for years we've talked about how all the holidays just seem to get more and more run together, and because the Christmas decorations are in the store before Halloween, kind of thing.
Yes,
it made me laugh.
Which led us to our topic for today of holidays, yay or nay? Holidays, yay or nay? Does it make you happy, or does it make you want to run for the hills? That's what we're going to talk about today, and some of the things you can do and what it brings up for you and all of those things. And I have to say that driving around looking at Christmas lights, it just made me happy. I mean, it made me get in the mood for Christmas. So
it was very fun, and our producer wants to run for the hills. Okay, Michael. But I understand that actually. That's been more and more of my response as I've gotten older, and so I'm working on a new opportunity this year to shift into a different gear. So what do you think about that?
I feel like somebody should start singing, "He's got a new attitude." Yeah. I love it. I love it because I'm okay. Well, we'll get into this on our show, but I mean, I love the holidays. So anyway, okay, which in and of itself is good news, but we're going to do more good news than that. So
that's right.
It's time for the good news.
Time for the good news. All right. So I should do mine, right?
Story?
There we go. So I found this fascinating little article that in doing research, apparently one of the things that's happening in terms of anthropology type research is that they're doing more and more with footprints and 3D imaging of footprints and all this stuff to get a better idea of how different animals and stuff moved around, and how different ancestors of humans moved around, and learning stuff. So they found these footprints, and they're on the side of a lake in Kenya, or what was a lake, I suppose. And anyway, they're more than 1.5 million years old, and the two different sets of footprints indicate that there were two different hominoid beings from different ancestors of ours. So different species of human, basically, that were in the same area, sharing the same habitat, and they even said, you know, the way it looked, they could have been there at the same time or within a couple hours of each other. I'm not sure how they figured that out on 1.5 million years ago, but
Right?
I thought that was really fascinating, though, that you look at the footprints and yeah, they look very unique in terms of that they're very different. But they get to figure out, you know, where were they going? You know, how were they searching for food? What areas did they work in? That kind of thing. From footprints.
Yeah, I saw that article and I almost did that article too. And I thought that was amazing. I think that's amazing. That exactly what you just said, that they could determine that they may have passed by each other within an hour and a half or whatever it said. It's like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. I mean, we can't nail it down that close yesterday.
Right. Yeah, it's very true.
But yeah, I thought that was really a kind of an interesting type of thing, and something I hadn't really thought about. That, and I wonder how it really affects us today, because, you know, did all of the species blend together and we're considered one species? But is it possible that there is these unique physical structures, etc., across the human landscape that really come from, I don't know, it just brought up a lot of interesting questions in my mind, thinking about two different, quote, species of humans wandering the earth at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fascinating. I thought it was fascinating on many levels. So, I mean, it is amazing. It's really amazing what we can do and find out. It baffles me.
Yeah.
I find myself thinking about, what if I had pursued a career like that? Would I be able to look at dirt and tell you that it happened, you know, millions of years ago, and that this meant that they had this for lunch? You know, I mean, I just thought, like, what an interesting, I don't know, a job to have. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
everything was interesting about it to me. So yeah, thank you. That was a good story. Well, my story, I wanted to do something holiday-ish just to go with the theme, and it is about the 82nd annual run of the Santa train through the Appalachian Mountains.
Huh.
And this, they kick off the year with special stops to bring, you know, holiday cheer and community and stuff this year, especially, but to the hurricane ravaged communities in the eastern United States. So they went through Irwin, Tennessee, giving out gift bags and chicken dinners and all kinds of gifts, toys, and things for kids. And they were in this 1902 steam locomotive that goes down the tracks, and Santa's waving to all the people along the way, and the train is filled with all kinds of presents. And then it's one of the nation's oldest cherished traditions back there. And it started like in the 1940s, I think 1943. And I actually watched the video on it where there was a woman that had been there since 1943, and just about how she was so excited, you know, when she was a kid, because they got hard candy. And that was her thing. And so they go through Kentucky and Virginia and Tennessee, and just thousands of family line the route and get the toys and get the things. And the woman that I saw in the video, she was there with her granddaughter and her great grandchildren, and they were all there. And it just seemed like an amazing, you know, tradition. And especially this year with all the stuff that's gone on there, something really for the communities to look forward to.
Well, in the picture that's up there, it said 15 tons of gifts.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff.
They had partnerships with Appalachian Power, Food City, Souls for Souls, and Kingsport Chamber of Commerce, and that all those people participate in making Christmas more special for people. So
Very cool.
good
All
job.
right.
Good holiday cheer. So that's what we want to find out about more is holidays and your emotions. So stay tuned, and we will come back after this message and dive deep into what the holidays bring, yay or nay. Okay.
All
So
right.
come back with us right here on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
We are back. Thank you for being here with us. I am Robyn Rice Olmstead.
And I'm Gil William Olmstead, and we are with you both coming from New Mexico today. 2 different locations, but same city. And we're here to rock the love with you.
Yes.
And the holidays.
Rock the holiday love. So today we're talking about the holidays. Yay or nay? So I'm going to say the holidays, I don't know, they really started Thanksgiving. Don't you think?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in terms of everyone's attitude and things, I mean, and yeah. Seems
Well,
like you hit Thanksgiving, you've hit holidays, and then there's parties and people are doing open houses and blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot going on usually.
Yeah, I mean,
month.
The holidays are like the pregame show. You know, it's like you know what's coming afterwards.
Right, after Thanksgiving, yeah.
Thanksgiving is like the pregame show. And it's where you start thinking about family, whether you're going to be with them or not be with them. You start thinking about it's the family holiday.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's very true. And that can bring up a lot of stuff for people.
Yeah.
Depending on yay or nay.
Holidays for me are definite yay. I'm yay. I'm all in. I love it. I love it. It doesn't. Yeah, I love it. And you, are you yay or nay?
I am much more likely to be nay these days. I think I wasn't always that way, but I think I think I react to the pressure, quote unquote, the expectations of gifts, and people want me to do this and do that, and I'm trying to do my my job and my etc. the normal stuff, and so I tend to err on the side of nay.
Well, and what I hear you say is the what's expected, what you think
Mm-hmm.
is expected. So you've grown into a place where you think certain things have to happen in a certain way to make people happy, or for you to be happy, or for it to be done right.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Mm-hmm.
is
Well, there's a
well,
sense of that, there's a sense of the expectation of gifts and perhaps decorations of etc. Um, and that is, for whatever reason, that's gotten more annoying to me over time. And I think in part because I feel like I'm less and less connected to family. Um, and I think that's a really a piece that's hard, which makes me I don't really want to enjoy it, if that makes any sense. Or at
I
least I haven't so far. I mean, I think I'm really made some choices and decisions this year about shifting that stuff and figuring out how to move it forward, which is great. Because when you live with a yay and you're a nay, yipes.
yay plus nay equals yipes.
Yipes, that's right. And a yay and a yay, that's good. A nay and a nay, that's good. Put the two together, and both of them are a little frustrated.
Well, you put the two together and there's no winning. There's no, because in any world, not everybody's happy.
Right.
So we have to reach a midpoint. And I think that's a really good point. So I'm going to work off of what you're saying and like ask you. So when you said, you're working on changing that, like what are the keys to changing that? How do you go into a season where you don't want to deck the halls? You want to, deck your partner. Um, no, but I mean, you don't want to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I am when I don't want to. I just don't want to, and so to change it, like how does one begin that journey?
Well, I think for me, part of it is making some choices about how I interact with family, with kids, and other family that I feel a little bit disconnected from,
Hmm.
and a little disappointed about how how we communicate, etc. And so part of it has been, um, I'm going to take some steps to move that forward. So it may not, it's not necessarily for this year in terms of the holidays, but having made the decision to do that changes my ability to enjoy the holidays now. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And I think it's also, there's also some level of choice. And those of you that may suffer from, depression of some kind, it's harder to make those choices when you're in a place of depression, and so it's sometimes it's a challenge. It's a real challenge, and I have to be gentle with myself, but I think the other part is when I start to feel a little better and I start to take care of the things a little better, then I can make the choice easier. Then I can shift into a place of more gratitude, more love. And that's a huge part of it, is finding that space of gratitude in myself for my life, whatever it is. And celebrating that. That's part of the holidays too, is celebrating. I mean, that's Thanksgiving. We're giving thanks. And Christmas, were the whole idea around this holiday season with with the season of light, where all different paths have moved into this thing about how the light is returning, and the light comes into our lives, and how all of that is so important. And so if I can focus more on that, I'm better off.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'll agree with that. No, but I think so. The first step is to check in with yourself, really, and see what comes up when you hear the word holidays.
Yeah.
When you hear the word Thanksgiving, family, Christmas, all of those things, and really determine for yourself, what is happening, what in your body, and what you're really thinking. And then,
and excuse me, but I think that part of that is just acknowledging kind of where you have fallen in the past, or where you kind of naturally go to. Do I head to the nay or do I head to the yay? Which one sort of naturally do I gravitate towards? And then when we can acknowledge that, then we can figure out, well, is that where I want to go? Does it serve me to do that?
right.
And move forward.
Right. So, and anyone out there listening, I'd love it if you put it in the chat, if you're a yay or a nay and what comes up for you, because I'd love to hear just where we're falling on this issue. But I also want to say, in regards to what you said about what you're doing, which is really great, is taking steps to change things. And so I want to share a quote, actually. Christmas is forever, not for just one day, for loving, sharing, giving, and not to put away, by Norman Wesley Brooks. And I bring that quote up simply because, as we know, there is that rush. All of a sudden there's, like, whether it's the rush to buy gifts for somebody because you have to show them that you love them and you appreciate them, or they're your secretary and you need to do this because it's the right thing to do, or whatever all those things are. And what I heard you say is, you're regarding family, you're beginning to do it a different way, or make those calls to connect with people or whatever. And I think that to me speaks to having that Christmas spirit in your heart all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just that, it's where can I live into that spirit of love and giving and sharing of myself, of my spirit, of my talents, whatever. Where can I do that all year long? Who am I going to miss at Christmas that I'm not missing in March? I mean,
right.
We're still missing that connection, or that person, or that whatever that situation is that we're dreading regarding Christmas. We're still missing it. It still exists, but somehow it just comes up at that time. So how do we, make it an ongoing thing?
I think there's a couple of things that happen. I mean, first of all, the pressure to me, what I interpret as pressure, or that sense of expectation, I go to my thing of, that's why is it so important now? It's important all the time, and I go into all that, which sort of goes to what you're talking about. But the other piece, and I heard this from someone talking about grief, And that is, holidays, birthdays, things like that tend to bring up a lot because they're once a year. They're once very intermittently. And so a lot of significance, it's like living through every day and missing your family or wanting to shift things or all of that. You get used to how that feels every day. But then you hit a holiday, and the holiday has a different shift.
Yeah.
Everything is different. And now it feels like a new thing because it only feels like this once a year,
Right.
And so, I've already dealt with it 300 other days, but on a holiday, that's one special day, And so I think that, that has a definite influence.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I just want to share John saying he's an invitational meaning he enjoys singing in the gay men's choir, holiday concert, and leading Christmas Eve services at Agape Bay Area, and knowing people may feel invited into what?
Into something.
Into the spirit. We're going to go with that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good ending to that statement.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, I mean, and I think even many of us nays, if you will, have a desire to have things be pleasant, have people feel welcomed in and find ways to enjoy it, and find ways to support others in enjoying it. It's just sort of is it something you sort of have to work toward, or is it naturally, yeah, so happy?
Yeah, and so I would say the first thing to do is to really acknowledge what's in the bag. What's in your bag? Is it, grief? Is it depression about, the holidays from when you were 6? Is it, what is it? Is it the pressure of the gifts? Just figuring out really, really what that is, and how you get flooded with those emotions just by, seeing twinkle lights go off on somebody's house. And then I think that this season, regardless of if you're a yay or a nay, really is a lot about self-care. It's a lot about self-care and knowing, where those triggers may be or what comes up. What comes up, and then being able to really do something about it, because if you're feeling sadness or loss, that's real, comes up that way. Go ahead.
And how do we honor ourselves and our, how do we honor our spiritual understandings, and how do we grow in all those things? And I think not get caught in doing a bunch of stuff or buying a bunch of stuff and spending more money than we want to, those kinds of things. But how do we both celebrate and honor people and really show them how we feel without overstepping our own selves in the process?
Yeah, and I just want to honor John's comment. It was inviting people into the spirit, or choose their own way, or have a need for love and acceptance where they are at. Yeah, and for those of you that don't know John, he's kind of Christmas all year long. If you had to give John a title based on a season, it would be Christmas. I mean, because he's always doing that. He's always doing Christmas. He's always giving. He's always inviting. He's always loving. I think Christmas just gives him more permission to play, to be full on Santa-ish. But and that's a great quality. And perhaps he'll teach the workshop one day on on it.
There you go.
It's a good thing. Yeah, but I think also, I think it's about creating what will fulfill you. So, okay, back in one of the comments that our producer will put up in a minute, he said he gave himself an early Christmas gift and didn't go to Thanksgiving dinner with his family. Well, that might be true. That may be what you need to do, to really honor yourself and move into the season, of loving everybody or doing whatever, and I think whatever it is and why ever it is, it's about taking care of yourself. And
well, and I think too, that goes to family, the idea of family of choice, that we all have family of birth, etc. And then, we have to find those around us who we know love us unconditionally and whom we love unconditionally. And that becomes our family of choice. And so, spending special time or going to the party or whatever it is, sometimes with those friends and connections that we have, is a whole different experience than going somewhere where we feel like we have to try to be some particular person that we're expected to be, or all of that stuff, the baggage that we carry from our birth families.
Well, yeah, and also doing what we want on those holidays. Like, I know families that are like, yeah, every year we go out for dinner, and we go, last year we had Indian food, and before that we had Chinese food on Thanksgiving. They made it their own, as opposed to having to do the thing, invite the people, be with the big, all of those things.
Yeah, it makes me think, we had the Thanksgiving dinner here at the Spiritual Center, and everybody brought stuff and all of that. And I made the joke, we ended up making 4 or 5 different dishes that we brought. And it was like, we did everything but bake the turkey. But somehow, for me anyway, it felt more fun to do that than to have done all that work and then sit around the table still sweating from doing whatever I'd done and eat dinner, right?
Maybe you just need a funner family.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just saying it felt good. It felt like, I was really giving to somebody and being a part of a fun time, So anyway, just
right,
thought.
and sharing. Well, so John asked me a question earlier and asked us to explore, so what do you do, like, if you're faced with something challenging at the holidays? Many people are faced with different diseases or illnesses or losing their jobs or any of those things. And he was speaking specifically of a friend he knows that's about to have heart surgery. And so how do you go into the holidays and create that space, wanting to create that space of, probably needing that space of the traditional, what we Yayers like to think Christmas is, that love and warmth and family and coziness and everything's taken care of, and if it isn't taken care of, all you need is a mug of hot chocolate and a Hallmark movie and everything will be fine. How do
you forgot your blanket?
Well, yeah, your blanket. Your blanket, or the oversized thing that is all warm and fuzzy that is on your Christmas list. Anyway, but how do you do that? How do you go? What can you do differently, or how do you move through those situations when things are changing in your life?
Well, once again, things are changing all the time in our lives, and so I think it gets infused with more significance because it's a time when people are traditionally wanting to be seen and wanting to act happy, wanting to celebrate. And when there's something going on that challenges that can be interesting. But if we can find a way to find the celebration in all of it, to really honor someone that's going through something, to really just visit them and hang out or whatever, even if they're not in a position to be very responsive to us, that can be really meaningful and really powerful, both for us and for them, particularly for them. But I think for oneself, that's hugely important to not move into a state of feeling sorry or feeling whatever, but to go in and really just honor who they are, even in the midst of whatever's happening in their body.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, as the quote said, Christmas is all year long, and it's our job to remember that on some level. And I think at the holidays is a time where if we can just slow down and really be with ourselves and kind of evaluate what it is that gives us joy, so like you were speaking about family members you hadn't talked to, and John has said in his chat, in the chat, holiday hugs or getting a cup of tea, can make you feel happy. And I think like starting, those kind of things, slowing down and really acknowledging and bringing in not new traditions, but new traditions, like things that are really yours that you can own. Like I know that John and I, for a couple of years, we would go down to Berkeley one day after Thanksgiving and just sit and have tea and look at the lights and look at the couple of stores. But it wasn't the pressure of like, oh, I've got to buy for Bobby Sue and John and blah 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 blah. It was really being able to just enjoy that energy, and enjoy the joy of the season. And I think the more ways we find to do that, and especially nowadays, there's so many celebrations, like borrowing from other celebrations. Like if it's, if you're going into the hospital and you're worried about something, maybe you want to celebrate more of the solstice. Maybe you want to bring in the light. Maybe you want to, borrow some of those traditions and, light some candles and then, or be with something of Kwanzaa and, grab one of the qualities and use that as your guiding quality, yeah. But I think, nowadays we can adapt. Nowadays we're all about integration, so we can adapt and really, really create something that speaks to us or that feeds us and, and make it happen differently.
Well, I think the shift in terms of that is, for me, is embracing the holidays for what they bring to me, why they exist. Why have these things become tradition, and can I allow that to serve me? Can I really see the value in it and adopt that for myself? Can I see the possibility of my growth? Can I see the possibility of better relationships? Can I see something in it? And then how do I do that? But it's if I go into the holiday thinking about what others think and how others approach it and what somebody else wants me to be and do, then it's no longer a yay, it moves to an A.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm thinking about like traditions and things like that, and how important they are in some ways. I mean, because they give us some sense of stability, and it's interesting for me because I'm a California girl, been there all my life, never been in a snow during any kind of holiday thing, but in my mind and in my heart, like I feel that vibration, like that to me. I'm like, oh yeah, turn on the fireplace and let's watch the snow, even though that it may happen now in New Mexico, but that wasn't my my upbringing. And I think as we I just think creating your own traditions is so important.
And having fun with it, finding what makes it fun for you.
Yeah, I remember my friend's family, Dory. They on Thanksgiving they would do predictions for everyone in the family of what was going to happen in the next year,
Mm.
and then they'd open them the next year. I was like, that is so fun, and I tried to do it with people, but my family isn't consistent enough that we met every year. So, but like things like that, and they would laugh and predictions about what would happen in the world and things like that, which I'm not sure I'd want to have now. But anyway, but anyway, I just thought like that's so fun, and that's like your own tradition, like. So like what is it that calls to you, and like I know like we bake cookies and we've baked cookies with the kids, and that's kind of a tradition, and we've gone and fed the homeless. That's kind of a tradition. And again, why only once a year? You know. But anyway, that's a different show. But
Well, I think if we can go yay with the holidays and then embody them in some way into our lives, into how we function all the time, then I think that's part of the value too. I mean, if I can really get into being a service or I don't know, being nicer or whatever it is that I need to do, then that can I can move forward in my life with that and not just reserve it for the holiday.
well, I think that's great. And so maybe we redefine this time, this time of Thanksgiving where everybody is so happy to tell you what they're grateful for. Maybe it's really a wake up call to realize not only what you're grateful for because you have it, but what have you been holding back on? What would you like to create? What is the new the newness you want to bring? And it could be something as easy as like, when we're talking about family that we haven't talked to or whatever, well, kind of like I said to you, on Thanksgiving, I'm like, call today. Don't call on Thanksgiving. Call now. You're thinking about it now. So you don't have to wait for the day or the excuse. Can you call and invite somebody to tea or coffee that you haven't talked to in a long time because you want to, and it doesn't matter if they're not in your city nowadays. Can you do a Zoom coffee date? Can you sit? I've done that with some of my girlfriends, had Zoom coffee dates and Zoom happy hours and all kinds of things, but just to connect and really.
Which one do you like better? Coffee dates or happy hours?
It depends if it's the holidays. No, no, they're all good. They're all good. I mean, it's just that point of connection, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the piece for me, there's the part that's the I think the sadness, the disappointment, the whatever of things that I grieve. And then there's just the idea of, why should I do special stuff now? Why am I not? Why is this just not what I do? This is what I'm trying to do all the time? This is why I'm putting the taillight in the car, because I love you, kind of thing. Even though I didn't wrap the bulb in a box, and
yeah, well,
but you know what I mean?
That too is a whole nother show.
Well, yes, it is, but I mean that's I just thought of that now. But it's that idea of, how are we living it all the time?
Right.
And is that my intention? And if it's my intention, then then that shifts my view of having to now shift what I do to somehow conform to still show my same intention. So anyway, I know it's a little convoluted, but that's me. A little convoluted.
No, but that's very true. It's like the quote said, and like John just said, also that it is an all year long thing. But on a lighter note, I'm going to share from one of your favorite people a quote. Is it that from Garrison Keillor? A lovely thing about Christmas is that it's compulsory, like a thunderstorm, and we all go through it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It is. I mean, it is. And I mean, it's kind of like the pandemic. There was something interesting and connecting, knowing that we were all going through the same thing.
That is true. That is one of the things that was fascinating about that.
Yeah, and Christmas. Right? I mean, whether you celebrate it or not, it's still Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and it's still the season of lights and joy and things. It's still a season that is important. So we are all in it together. So on that note, yay or nay, yes, I think that everything you've talked about, I think, moves you closer to a yay. And in that, I think I'm going to say, I think the missing link for you, Gil, is just that pressure that you put on yourself about what's going to make me happy or what's going to make the family happy and the things you feel you have to do. And so I would just say on those notes, that's you either have to figure that out and do it, or you have to be okay with not doing it and doing the best you can, which doesn't mean doing anything, but it means doing it your way and figuring out what that is. Just no more vacuum cleaners.
No. Well, yeah, we don't need a new one now. It's good.
Some of you may know that one year Gil gave my sister and I a vacuum cleaner when we were all living together for our Christmas present. We were like, yeah, no, thank you.
They weren't very happy with me, but it's a really good one, made vacuuming so much easier. I guess it was more a gift for myself, but what can I say?
Exactly. And I fully believe in giving yourself your Christmas gifts, which we have done this season. So,
yes, we have. I was thinking about that this morning.
Yeah. And my growing edge, so Gil and I supported Cyber Monday and Black Friday and in between Saturday. We just shopped. So my growing edge with that, and I keep trying to get there, is to go, can this be your Christmas present? Let it be your Christmas present, and you don't have to get anything else. But it's not the same because there's some symbolism of like you having taken the time to know what I want and surprise me, kind of thing, which I know I'm sure adds like a ton of pressure, and that's why you hate it. But I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. I mean, there's something about that. I mean, because those of us in the yay stage, I still have that wonder of Christmas. I still believe in Santa Claus, and if that stocking's not full in the morning, I will be devastated. I know it's ridiculous, but if there's only one of us here, why can't it be Santa? That's what I have to say. So,
All right, my love. I think we should let them go. You
all right.
have
Well,
something to close us out?
I do. I'm going to leave with this quote. Blessed is the season which engages the whole world in a conspiracy of love.
So any season that can do that, any event, any time frame is wow, fantastic.
Because that's
And boy, do we need it.
Yep, we do need it. That's what we're all about, is rocking the love. And I know that all of you out there are rocking it. So that's what this season is about. And yeah, take time to for yourself and self-care and big love and new
just
possibilities.
yeah, and if you're a nay, just acknowledge you're a nay and allow that to be the truth and see where it goes. But don't try to deny it, and because it's never going to shift if all you do is push it away. So that's my thought.
Okay, but one thing on that before we leave, if you're a nay, I would challenge you to do baby steps. To do baby steps, just to move your heart to yay, because it's about the love, right? And so if you do baby steps, that may just mean smiling at somebody, when you're out on the street, or just giving something small, maybe an extra tithe to your church, or apparently to our producer, anything that just might help kick off that spirit. You can make baby steps, and we're all walking this journey together, so we'll be right there with you, walking alongside of you and rocking the love. So take that out into the world and rock the love, everybody.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Peace.
Woo.